Hey everyone, welcome to the Daz Studio live stream. This is Rex Red. I have no idea how this is going to turn out because I have never done this before, but we are going to attempt to create a Starfield in Daz Studio using UltraScatter. Okay, and I feel pretty confident. Oh, we got to have some polka music. So, yes, it is polka time. And say hi, Sigmund. Hello. Oh, that was nice, Sigmund. And Hector would be very amiss if I didn't let him say hi. Hi. Oh, that was nice, Hector. All right, so we're going to turn this down a little bit. Turn it down. Okay. We have started off with a completely clear scene right now. So there's nothing in the scene other than gray matter. And I think that's what you start off when you create the sky. You have gray matter and then you create, just theoretically, I don't know. I've never said let there be stars, and there they were, but this is what we're going to try to do, is create a star field in Daz Studio. So, okay, so on we go. Now, what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a little scene, okay, so that we know how big everything is, okay? And so I think I'm going to start the scene from the front here. And I will probably have two different figures in the scene, but just to start it off for now, I'm going to have just, because I don't really know how, I've never done this before, so I don't really know how big the stars need to be. So we're going to start off first with a log. This is a fire log. Okay, let's see how big this log is. I have no idea how big this log is. But what we will do is we're going to bring in a figure. Now I'm going to start with a Genesis 8.1 figure. Okay, and so we're going to, I will use my Genesis 8.1 male figure that I have already posed. Not posed, but that I have already put all kinds of stuff on him, so I don't have to worry about different, why isn't the figure, okay, because I have the log selected. This may not be the right size log, but I may just resize the log just to get the log, a log. Okay, so it's the Genesis figure that is going to tell me saved files, what size everything is. Okay, so this is the Genesis 8.1 figure. We're going to bring him in. Welcome, welcome, Angus. Welcome. I think you might enjoy this tutorial tonight. It's a study on using UltraScatter, UltraScatter is this utility that allows you to scatter items along like a plane, but this time we're going to scatter items inside of a cube, and it's going to inside of a volume. And so what we're going to do is scatter these little spheres inside of the volume. And we're going to try to create a star field. Yes, that was Sigmund's theme. While we wait, we can play a little bit more of Sigmund's theme. And he can, oops, he just dropped him on his head. Yes, Sigmund loves that song. He just loves it. Yes, and so it just is so happy, and it's a happy, happy song. And so So, right, we are waiting now for our Genesis 8-1 male figure to come into the scene currently. And then what I'm going to do is create some kind of like skyline. Okay? And for anybody who, now I know that I have a scene somewhere with a log in it and all. But I'm just going to I'm going to try not to. Okay, there's our Genesis 8.1, and obviously this log isn't big enough for them to sit on. So what I'm going to do, rather than try and concentrate on the scene, I'm just going to concentrate on getting everything. Now let's see how hard it is to. Let's go to our texture shaded mode, and let's see how hard it is to scale this log. Okay, now you see this log isn't scaling correctly. It's like moving. It's like the log itself. Okay, edit, undo that. Maybe if I click on the log instead of the log. Okay, and now it's not. So this log is just not going to work. Okay, so let's find another log. Log. All right, all files. That's was kind of disappointing, but all right, we need a prop. This says it's a log as well. This looks like a log chair, a log planter. Okay, that's not really what we're looking for. I was looking like for a fallen down tree. Real mill log. Okay, we don't want a log that's on fire. And that one's on fire. No, we don't want a fire log. Okay, we want something that's not on fire. That one's on fire as well. They can't sit on that. Nope. How about this one? And I think that's the same exact log that I had before. Okay, fireplace logs. There's too many there. These nook logs. What's up with this nook log? Fire log. Okay, this one looks like it doesn't have fire, but it'll have fire. Oh, no. Okay. Here we go. Now, when we scale this thing, it just scales. That's what we want, is just for the log to scale about that big. Okay, and we're going to push this in behind him so him and maybe his buddy can sit on it. Just a chair. Okay. I don't want to make this scene too cluttered. Okay, so we're going to now have him sit, pose. So I'm going to put some kind of plane here, a plane, and then a campfire in front of him. Okay, so there's something lighting the scene. Okay, so campfire. So let's see, camp. I think that's one word. Yes, it is. Okay, campfire. And I think this is the orcish campfire. And we have another one. Let's put it in the scene and see what it looks like. This looks pretty cool. I think okay, but that one this one I don't know if this campfire is. Yeah, that's Iray. So we're going to put this in the scene. Okay, we'll just move it ahead a little bit like this. So, and let's take a look from the top. Okay, we don't want them right in the middle of the campfire. We want him in the center of the scene, so we're going to move the campfire out ahead a little bit. And this little green dot should be about where the center is. Now, if I rotate this campfire a little bit, it's just a little bit of work here, but if I rotate it this way, then I can manipulate it a little bit easier next time along the X, Y, and Z axis. Okay, it appears to be fine there. Now let's select our Genesis 8 male and get him into a sitting pose. Pose by function sitting. Where is sitting? It would be in the S's, of course. Sitting. Let's get rid of the campfire word. I'm going to talk to you guys about how to find stuff. This box up here, you have to use it constantly. You have to learn keywords, okay? I call them keywords. And the keywords tell you That's a sitting pose. Okay, that might work. The keywords, whenever you have an item that you use a lot, like Campfire, okay, or another keyword is like ultra, for looking for ultra scenery, or ultra. I don't know what he's doing and all there, but he's sitting. So now let's see if I can move him a little bit more, a little easily. He's sitting at the right height. So that's number one. And so let's just pose him a little bit. And we'll bend him up a little. And we'll bring his arm down. It's kind of in an odd position. Twist it. Bring his shoulder down a little. This way, I guess. And bend his elbow in. I don't know what makes these. Okay, twist his arm in a little bit, like this way. And let's put his hand down so it's bend. And let's turn his head towards the campfire. It's like, yeah, there's a campfire right there. Look at it. Okay, so we're in the front now, and he's kind of looking ahead. And now we're going to call this Starfield. Starfield Fireside. Let's call that Starfield. We'll capitalize that for the type. Starfield Fireside. Okay. Accept. Okay, now we need just some kind of ground here to cover this. Okay, so we're going to look for, so what's our keyword? Ground. Okay, and then we click all files, and we find some kind of ground. And I'm looking for a low resolution ground, something that's landscape prop. Let's see what this looks like. We're just looking for something that's going to cover the ground so that now I may be able to use this. Let's see. Landscape prop. Let's go Y to translate it. Okay. All right, this is okay. This looks like it works. Now you can see a little bit of this, but I have a feeling that if I think if I take this, okay, I think this will work. Okay. So let's see what this looks like in Iray. Does the fire actually cast any kind of light on him? I'm hoping it illuminates him enough where he looks like he's sitting in front of a campfire. No, it doesn't look like it's doing any of that. But maybe I'm going to have to mess with the campfire. This just doesn't look like the right kind of campfire, but it might be something I can fix this. It's not about the campfire, okay? So right now, I believe the problem that we're having in this scene is because there's like a daylight. It's daylight, and a campfire is usually at night. So we're going to mess with our environment options, and what we're going to do is go to this environment tab. Okay, and we're going to go scene only. Okay, now that turns off, but right now, because I don't have a light in the scene, my camera is creating a light and shining it, and it's actually brighter than than it's brighter than the campfire. It's just like bearing this huge light down on the scene, okay? So if I put like a spotlight in here, just a spotlight in the scene, and the spotlight's kind of buried underground, that just turned off my... Now this spotlight happens to be a little bit, so we'll just position the spotlight so it lights him a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go out of Iray again. I'm not sure why that looks like, oh, that's our log, okay, and here's our character. Okay, so we're going to come out. We'll take an angle, come from an angle. Always look through your spotlight when you, and make sure you have your spotlight selected in your scene, okay, so that you are looking through your spotlight, okay. Now, I'm not going to, maybe I'll give this spotlight a little bit of juice. Okay, let's go into Iray again, just to light him up a little bit, so he's visual in the scene. And we're going to now go and control alternate minus and close all that stuff down. All right, now we're going to go down to our spotlight here and add a little bit of, we'll go 5 and see if that just lights him up enough. That's too much. Let's light him up. Let's go 3. Okay, and we'll warm that up a little bit, like the moon is shining on him. Okay, so this is our scene. We just saved it now. Let's take this spotlight and display, and let's not visualize it in the it says visible in viewport. We'll turn it off so that it's not in our way, okay? We're going to save this again. Now there's our smart little camper guy, okay? And let's see if we bring this up a little bit. Does this look a little better? Better. Okay, we want him looking at the camera. Okay, now I'm going to pull this in a little bit. See if I can pull that in. Make some little bit of room here. And I'm going to pull this in a tiny bit as well, just so I can get my scene a tiny bit more real estate for our scene. Okay, I'm leaving this 16 by 9 for now. Now, if I bring this down a little bit more and bring him down and bring this down a little more, we're going to have a very vast sky behind us, okay? And this is what I wanted. Now, I was thinking at first I would get some kind of city so that, but what we're going to do is we're going to mess with the sky and make the sky. Now, he's not quite looking at the camera. There we go. I think he's looking very handsome tonight. Okay, so our Genesis 8.1 character is just absolutely beautiful. So, okay, this is the Genesis 8.1 stock character. So this is what we've got. All right, so he's still not quite looking at the camera, but I'm not going to worry about that right now, okay? Thank you for the likes. Ed, you are just in time. Yes, we're going to work. I'm kind of bouncing off of the tutorial that I can't remember it. I know his name, like Jason. I'm not sure. The Daz guy who knows like twice as much as I do in his little finger. So, but Jay, okay. And today, I don't know if you saw his live tutorial, but it was fascinating. And so he used ultra scenery to create a bokeh scene, a bokeh effect. And I'm not sure, bokeh, I think bokeh, I've always called it bokeh, but it's probably bokeh. Bokeh effect, like a camera effect. And it was very, very, very amazing how he did that. So it just got me thinking and saying, you know, I could use that same technique because I'm pretty good at ultra scenery to make a Starfield. Okay. So that's what we're going to try. That's what we've got this all set up. And the reason why I had to put some land here and a character in here is because I need to know how big the Starfield looks. Okay. I need to have humans in this, a human in this image, and excuse me, then I have to have land in front of the Starfield to kind of block. So I thought what I would do is go into this environments tab here and just create a backdrop. Okay. And we're going to find a nice blue for the backdrop. Blue. Now see, that's not dark enough. So let's go like dark blue. Okay. And how about a little darker? Okay, so here, I don't know if that's the right. See, I've never done this before, so we're all going to have some fun here. I don't know why it says concurrent viewers, that we have 0 concurrent viewers, and I believe there are 2 people here. So, yes, so now we have this beautiful set situation here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a cube. I don't know if that's the technical word for it. Yes, I think it's a cube. Cube. Yeah. It doesn't sound very technical, but we're going to go and size 20, divisions 20. I think that's enough. Let's go with the size and divisions. Let's just go up to 30 just in case, because this cube is going to be really, really big. So let's go up to size 30, just in case maybe I could end up with a geometry limitation. Okay, now he's inside the cube. Okay, so we have to take this cube now and go to the scene and manipulate it. So I'm going to go into texture shaded mode again. You know, it's like I probably should use filament mode, and I think it was you last night, Ed, that mentioned using filament mode. It was very smart. It got me thinking today about filament mode, that it's probably loads just as quick as texture shaded mode, and also it shows lighting in certain things much better than text in certain way, and textures. It shows them a little bit better, and probably it maybe even is faster than texture shaded mode. So I will be adding that to my slowly trying to bring filament mode into my workload here. So we're going to click the cube and go to parameters. We're going to go Z because he's in front face, and we're going to bring this cube out. Now Control L turns the light on in here so that I can see what we're working with. And so we're going to go Z back. Now this cube should, okay, now the cube is here. So what I want to do now is make sure the cube is beyond my land. So I'm going to create now a camera and use the perspective view. Okay, and I'm going to lock the camera because I know that's roughly where I want the camera to be. So we're going to get edit. I wish I knew the keyboard shortcut for locking the camera, but lock selected node. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the cube, and I need to look and see where it is. Okay, so we're going to go to perspective mode. We're in perspective. Now I'm going to go from the top down, and I can see that I've brought the cube way out further than my land. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on the whole scene, I guess, and we're going to try and put this cube closer, but not too close. And then I'm going to take the cube and I'm going to resize it so that it is, what would be the X scale? No, well, the X scale, we need it to go this way. And we need to go the Z scale in like this so that we can populate this with planets. Okay, and I don't think I need, all right, and I see, you have to take into consideration that I'm going to making these planets emissive so that they put off light. So how much light, if the closer I move them to this, the more it's going to light my scene, okay? And the closer I move it to this, the more the campfire here may actually illuminate the planets, and I don't kind of want that. So I've got to make sure it's back far enough that I can populate it with enough planets, okay? So let's go back to the camera view. And now I don't know. Oh, my camera view isn't straight on. I guess it doesn't have to be. So now what I'm going to do is resize this cube again. We're going to go X scale and bring it this way. We'll go X translate and bring it this way. X scale a little bit more. Okay, so it covers. Let's make sure we have a good coverage, okay? And we're at 16 by 9, so I really doubt that I'm going to be. Now let's Y translate and see. Okay, so we've got to Y scale it also. All right. And let's Y translate it down to make sure it's covering this. Y scale a little more. I'm not going to rotate it so that it's straight onto the camera. I'm going to just leave it. If I have to, I'll move the camera back, I'll front the camera perfectly and turn him so he's looking at the camera. So I'll move the things in the scene. So the idea is to get this to, I'm going to leave the cube flat on so that I'm definitely not going to turn it. So that it doesn't, so that I have when I go, if I need to move anything or think about any measurements, that it's all, that they're not arbitrary amounts. Okay, so we've got the cube. Now we've got to move Y scale it, okay? And I think what I'm going to do is unlock my camera. It's not much of a deal. Okay, and I'm going to go, just so that everything is correct, I'm going to go into Object, Unlock, and this, apparently that's Shift U to unlock. Okay, I'm going to go straight on, okay, and get him in the center. Just get him in the center, move the camera down some, and now what do I do to move? Okay. Now, if I go like this, okay, that's okay. To just angle the camera up a little bit, move it in. Okay, and then we can take this cube and move it over. It's not perfectly, but at least it's not all at an angle. And let's take our Genesis 8.1 male and Y rotate him a little bit so he's looking this way. Yeah, it's like his eyes are looking at some kind of null, because when I move him, his eyes like, no, I'm looking over there, sorry. So, but that's okay. We can mess with it. It's not, this scene is not so much about the people in the scene as it is the getting the sky field as much of a Starfield as we can create. So yes, I was thinking about that today, Ed, about Filament, that it could actually be better. Google created Filament. I didn't know that. And that's just a little tip, that Google created Filament. And so when Google puts money into something like that, they have to have put some real work into Filament. So here we go. Okay. Now let's go into Iray again. Okay, I already saved this, but let's Starfield. Let's cancel this. I don't know why. Control S. Okay. Not sure why it wanted me to save it again. Every once in a while it does that. Now I'm not comfortable with this cube being so low. So I mean close to the top of my. All right. So let's do it about there. Let's give the cube a little bit more wide scale. Okay. So I think that may have also gone to the bottom too. Let's see. No, so let's give the, all right, there, just so we know we're covered here. Because I may not be able to touch that cube. Okay, so we're going to go into Iray just real quickly now and see what this looks like in Iray.